Hello and welcome to our special coverage. Day after verdict day, we've been dissecting the election results for you with plenty of information. Let's get straight into the headlines at this hour. 5 people killed in Chennai as several localities remain underwater. Cyclone expected to hit tomorrow will make a landfall between Nellore and Machilipatnam in Andhra Pradesh.
After BJP sweep in 3 states, suspense grows over Kaun Banega Mukhyamantri. Rajasthan BJP leaders meet Amit Shah in Delhi. Vasundhara Raje meets 20 MLAs in Jaipur.
Ashok Gehlot's OSD blames him for the defeat in the assembly polls. Lokesh Sharma tells India Today that Gehlot's experience and schemes could not bring the Congress back to power in Rajasthan.
New Telangana Chief Minister to be picked soon. DK Shivkumar heads to Delhi after meeting with newly elected MLAs. He will present the CM choice to Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi.
And the Zoram People's Movement sweeps Mizoram's polls. Zoram Thanga resigns as Chief Minister. Lal Duama set to create history by becoming the first non-Congress, non-MNF Chief Minister of Mizoram.
Standing ovation for Prime Minister Modi in Parliament after the 3-0 sweep by the BJP in the Hindi heartland. PM sends out a message to the opposition, says don't vent frustration of the loss inside the house, asks opposition leaders to learn from the defeat.
And a day after the Congress drubbing in the 3 assembly elections, India bloc allies blame the Congress for the poor showing. Mamata Banerjee's party expected to skip the Team India meeting on 6 December.
PM Modi congratulates the Indian Navy for appointing India's first woman commanding officer. The PM announces that the ranks of the Navy personnel and officers will be renamed as per Indian culture.
And 2 IAF pilots killed in a trainer aircraft crash. IAF's Pilatus trainer aircraft crashes in Telangana. Pilots including an instructor and 1 cadet. Top story tonight. Heavy rains continue to lash Chennai as cyclone inches closer to the Tamil Nadu and coastal Andhra Pradesh. The cyclone is expected to make a landfall tomorrow, but through the day today, Chennai has been inundated. In some areas, cars seen floating on the roads.
Here's what Shilpa Nair and Shivimol saw on the ground. India Today's reporters have been capturing how the city has literally been deluged by water. Take a look.
Heavy rains, gusty winds, waterlogged roads. Chennai and its suburbs are bracing for Cyclone Michaung. The cyclone is expected to make landfall between Nellore and Machilipatnam in southern Andhra Pradesh by Tuesday noon. But the rains that precede the landfall have brought Tamil Nadu's capital city down on its knees. Many residential areas are inundated. Citizens could be seen wading through knee-deep water. Cars floated like boats on waterlogged stretch.
We are currently reporting from outside the Chennai Corporation headquarters, and very interesting and very concerning. In fact, you can see how the Chennai Corporation building itself is flooded. You can see the kind of water levels. Just look at those cars. So you can imagine the kind of water levels that are there at this point in time. And this is the Chennai Corporation headquarters. So you can imagine the rest of the city as well, how flooded it must be. And that is what is the real concern at this point in time. There's just no respite from rains. It's been pounding heavily in Chennai and the neighboring districts of Chennai.
Water entered 2 government hospitals in Krompet area and Chennai, affecting healthcare services. Heavy downpour impacted traffic in the city. Operations at the Chennai International Airport were affected. Several flights were cancelled and many flights diverted. The Met Department has predicted heavy rains for Chennai and adjoining regions for 24 hours. The waterlogging has brought back memories of 2015 floods that crippled Chennai. The government has advised citizens to stay indoors. The National Disaster Response Force teams have been rushed to the landfall area. Over 21 teams are deployed to Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Puducherry. 8 teams are on standby. Over 18,000 police personnel are on the ground in Chennai. Medical response teams are on standby for any emergency. With Shibimol KG and Shilpa Nair in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's go straight across to Chennai. Joining us now is Shilpa Nair. She's in Chennai. Pramod Mahajan is in Machilipatnam, where the landfall is expected tomorrow. First, you, Shilpa, there in Chennai. Give us a sense of what the administration is doing and what should people be. Should they all stay at home come tomorrow?
Well, absolutely, Rajdeep. They will have to stay indoors. There is no other choice, because if you get onto the streets of Chennai at this point in time, it's completely flooded. And there are, of course, rain-related accidents that could take place because that's the level of water on the streets of Chennai. And that is the reason why Tamil Nadu government has announced a public holiday tomorrow in Chennai, Chengalpet, Tiruvallur and Kanchipuram districts. And apart from that, the Tamil Nadu disaster management has also advised the private companies and the private establishments asking their employees to work from home as well. Only essential staff should come to office. That is something that they have advised. So clearly at this point in time, the Tamil Nadu government, they want people to stay indoors. They do not want people to be venturing out unnecessarily, because the situation is very, very concerning. And even as we speak, there is no respite from rain. And now the hope of the government was that by night at least the rains would start subsiding, but that has just not happened. We are still seeing heavy winds and heavy rains in different parts of Chennai, and that is bad news as far as the people of Chennai are concerned, because already they are reeling under floods. Water has entered several homes in several localities of the city. There is power cuts across the city. So there's a lot of inconvenience that they're going through, a lot of trouble that they're facing. Many people have been moved to relief centers. Those who are living in low-lying areas, they've been moved to relief centers. So at a time when city is going through this difficult phase, the only hope and prayer was that the rain should subside. But as of now, it's still continuing. And that, of course, is the big cause of concern.
So if you look at the satellite image at this time, Chennai faced a lot of the brunt of the rainfall through the day, but the cyclone is moving up towards the coast of Andhra Pradesh, which is where Pramod Madhav is, in Machilipatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Pramod, tomorrow is when the cyclone will hit landfall, will make landfall, and it's possible that Chennai saw the worst today, but the real rain and the real trouble will shift towards near the areas where you are.
It absolutely is, Rahul. In fact, we could see the kind of trouble this Michaung could bring in, because already the rain has, the intensity has increased and we are not able to go any further. We are trying to reach Machilipatnam's coastal zone as soon as possible. Already for Andhra Pradesh, 8 districts alert has been issued. Special officers have also been asked to go over there. 5 NDRF teams have been placed here as well. And the actual model is predicting that this landfall might occur between Nellore and Machilipatnam, and the red bands of this cyclone, which already has brought rain here, the ones that devastated Chennai for the day, has also started to move over here, and we are expecting that as per the officials' report, that the landfall might occur by 11 a.m. or so. Still, prediction they are predicting, and rainfall has become severe in this part also, Rahul.
Rahul, you want to tell us on the map
So here
what's
it
happening?
is. This live satellite map of where that cyclone is. So this is the center of the cyclone. It's above Chennai. So it's heading towards the Andhra Pradesh coast, so going up towards Nellore. And what we can also do is we can scroll forward and show you where the cyclone is likely to be in the hours to come. So it's expected to make landfall tomorrow afternoon as it moves upwards. But what we're also seeing, Rajdeep, is that the frequency with which these cyclones are coming seems, because of global warming, just becoming more frequent than ever in the past.
You've also had both in the Arabian Sea in recent times and the Bay of Bengal. Earlier, they would be predominantly in the Bay of Bengal. In recent times, you've also seen them in the Arabian Sea. But those are extremely troubling images because they will remind a number of Indians and certainly people from Chennai over what happened in 2015. But we are told the administration far better prepared this time than they were in 2015. So hopefully some of those lessons of 2015 have been learned, which is why a lot of people have already been moved from the low-lying areas to relief centers. So our thoughts and prayers today with the people of Chennai. Let's turn first to the state of Telangana, because we are told at the moment that there is the possibility of DK Shivkumar coming to the national capital now to meet the Congress president and Rahul Gandhi, where the Congress has to decide kaun banega Mukhyamantri. This at a time when there is a debate and a tussle. What was expected to be a clear shot for Revanth Reddy, and he's still the front runner, but there are a few other contenders which have raised the questions now over how smooth Rahul will be the swearing in that is expected, we are told, on the 9th, which is what Revanth Reddy promised us, which he says is Sonia Gandhi's birthday. This is the only good news that came in for the Congress in the elections yesterday.
Could there be a twist in the tail, or they'll just do the right thing? Because with the Congress, you can never be sure. Ideally, because he was the face of the campaign, led the party in the campaign, was state unit chief, he should really be chief minister.
Look, I don't think there will be a twist in the tail, but with the Congress, you never know. But I would rather doubt it. Revanth Reddy has been the face of this aggressive campaign that the Congress ran against KCR in the last few months in particular. So the CLP meeting has been done. Our sources say it will be most probably Revanth Reddy, but you never know till it's done.
You met him recently in Hyderabad. What did you make of the guy?
Well, I think he really energized the entire Congress campaign. He gave to KCR as good as the Congress used to get in the past. He was matched in terms of the kind of vocabulary that was there.
So vocabulary is also very earthy and acerbic.
Right. And then also when you went out and saw, he had charisma. You could see that in the crowds in the few rallies that I attended. And certainly, I mean, the fact is, apart from Revanth Reddy, the Congress was far, far better organized in Telangana than it was in the northern states. And you can see the contrast. They had a strategist, Sunil Kanugulu, and he's been with, I mean, you have spoken to him. They worked to a plan. They dropped the kind of MLAs that they didn't want to have and actually inducted others that they thought would be winning. Unlike, you know, there were no satraps deciding the tickets that was there. So you had I mean, this is the duality of the Congress. If they had done what they had done in Telangana, they probably would have had better results in the north.
I thought Raj was about to say that people in the south are generally more organized than those in the north, especially in the Congress party.
It's true.
It's true. It is actually true. But, you know, even on social media, on digital, far more organized, far more cohesive than what the Congress was in the north. They could really borrow a leaf. Both in Karnataka and in Telangana, we've seen a very different Congress to what we've seen.
No, but imagine this was a Congress which is down and out just 6 months ago. So the whole revival, everybody's saying it's very well organized, etc. So that's a bit of an exaggeration, because 6 months ago they were hardly there. So they literally, what it shows you is, you can bring it, if you can apply, to my mind, professional campaign management techniques. You can stitch a campaign and you can build it out. It's not, Rajdeep, 6 months ago.
No, Rahul, just to be, I mean, to be fair to the Congress, Sunil had moved there 1.5 years ago. The strategy was put into place at that particular time. Revanth had come in much earlier. It was not like he just joined on that.
The point I'm making is that the Congress had fallen. They picked up 19 MLAs, lost many of them to the BRS. So they were really down and out. From there, they've bounced back.
And I think that, I think the 6 months you're talking about is the Karnataka effect.
Sure.
The win in Karnataka,
it gave them momentum. It increased their morale. I think it increased their morale.
And Amitabh Tiwari's been a campaign manager and a strategist. So essentially, it means you can bring modern day campaign techniques to the campaign, and that does make a difference. You can't fight this old Kamalnath style ki wo bata raha hai, aap sun nahi rahe, you're doing your own thing because your gut and your ego. Anybody who's deciding with his gut and not going by the data, oh my God, I really feel bad for you.
Yes, you have to go by the data, you have to go by the surveys. Tickets were distributed based on surveys. They managed the rebels, 11 rebels, only 2 contested, 9 of them were made to sit. And they focus on a combined leadership. See,
no, so, okay, since you've done this game for so long, how does the campaign in Telangana, from what you can see from the outside, look different from the campaign they ran in Madhya Pradesh?
The first and foremost thing is that in Telangana, there was a belief that we are not winning, we are losing. We are on the back foot. We have to work hard, slog it out in the next 6 months. In Madhya Pradesh, from April, Congress party is saying we are winning the election. It sends a wrong message to the cadre, to the leadership. Whereas even even if you
Chhattisgarh also they were convinced they are winning.
And even the Gehlot, he is going to change the rivas. See, overconfidence. Here they were nimble-footed. They knew they were on a back foot. The party was almost finished. And BRS, if you see, BRS has grown inorganically. That is also we have to understand. 12 MLAs of TDP in 2016
Correct.
and 12 MLAs of Congress in 2019. And ADR data shows that these people who hop, 52% win, but 48% don't.
Okay, we've got Rajat Sethi, Sanjay Singh and Rashid Kidwai joining us. We're going to go in a moment also to Mizoram, where there's been a big verdict, a historic verdict today. I know Rajat wants to speak on that. But Rashid Kidwai, Telangana, do you believe it's a done deal that it will be Revanth Reddy, or with the Congress you can never tell till the very last moment?
Well, I think in this case it will be, because he's Rahul Gandhi's choice. He's worked very hard and he had a sense of hunger and urgency in that entire campaign. I think the Congress is not going to fiddle with that, and there is no other. I mean, there are people, but there is no one who's a kind of challenger. So I think it's going to be a smooth transition. I think the Congress made a mistake, what you were debating earlier, in having too much of faith in Kamal Nath, Ashok Gehlot and Bhupesh Bagel's ability. Remember, they have a proven track record. So it was very difficult. In retrospect, we can run them down. But yes, the Congress is supposed to have a centralized election management a mechanism that's not in place. I think instead of using this
situation, Rashid Bhai, if they ran the campaign through 10 Janpath and Rahul Gandhi would have said they are deciding from the High Command. Now when they are letting your supposed strong regional leaders do their job, then you are saying, oh, you gave them too much leeway. It can't be that you can throw both arguments depending on which time of the day it is.
No, Rahul, it's a need for, to develop institutions. The Congress does not have election management institution. They should, it's high time, as Mr. Rajchandra is mentioning. See, Sunil Kanu, if you have an in-house consultant who's there, part of Congress, enjoying a, cabinet rank in Karnataka, why not make a best use? If he and Kamal Nath had an argument, Rahul Gandhi should have intervened. That's my problem.
No, I accept. In fact, the BJP has about 3 or 4 polling agencies doing their tracker polls. They have Association of Billion Minds, which effectively does a lot of their social media work, a lot of their polling work, and provides these constant inputs. I just wonder, Rajat Sethi, whether the Congress can take this Telangana model national, because is that enough to take an election strategist model national, or you need the organization? The truth of the matter is the Congress organization is much weaker north of the Vindhyas, much stronger south of the Vindhyas.
You're absolutely right. I think Congress is in bad shape in North India. They do not have even 5 leaders which have direct connect with the public and enjoys the trust of the public. Whom will you go out in your election rallies? Gehlot is, I think, there are several political careers which have come to a halt now. It is Kamal Nath is out, Digvijay Singh is out, Gehlot is out. Which other second rung of leadership does Congress have in the entire North India? I don't see anyone. So, just getting a strategist on board, how is he going to work? What is he going to work with? You need to have some level of credible political upcoming faces, fresh faces, which have a story, have a spin, to be able to fill the vacuum. I don't see that anywhere. Now, even in Telangana, by the way...
Sanjay, do you see any faces? Rajat says he doesn't see even 5 faces that can take the Congress forward in North India.
Actually, he's probably right. at the moment you don't actually see 5 faces. Even if I ask you name 5 persons who can actually take Modi plus Mahila, that is a very strong support base for the BJP now. And plus the kind of delivery, targeted delivery that has been done. People actually down the line, in my own personal experience, people who are lower down the strata tend to believe more in Modi than people in urban areas. Of course, they get votes in urban areas. There is not a single leader, not even in terms of charisma, in terms of reach, and in terms of vigor to fight it out.
You know, you've got a DK Shiv Kumar on screen there. He's seen by some, at least in the South, as the South's version of an Amit Shah. He can do for the Congress in the South what Amit Shah does.
No, but is he as good at,
we don't know.
But is he as good at strategy?
Look, that's how the Congress is pitching him. I hear congressmen saying, bring DK Shiv Kumar now to Delhi, he will take us national. Do you believe that there is any possibility of the Congress being able to take a Telangana, Karnataka model national? Or at the end of the day, if you're organizationally weak, you have no local leaders with a mass connect, there's only so much that a strategist can really do. There you had Siddaramaiah in Karnataka and Revanth Reddy now in Telangana.
I think the Congress missed a brilliant chance. Let's not forget you had very strong leaders in these 3 states that they lost, whether it was Kamal Nath, who had 3-4 years to actually build the kind of organization that could challenge the BJP. You had Gehlot, who was all in all, and you had Baghel, who everyone thought was winning. I think what is missing, and that's where the BJP, and as my friend was saying earlier, was that the BJP realized that this was going to be the turning point for 2024. They had to capture the North at any cost. South, they knew Telangana, they were always weak. But so they look at the artillery they mounted in. It was just not just the organizational, which they have a fantastic organization in Madhya Pradesh, and the grassroots began to work 3 to 4 years earlier. They actually began to go out and propagate things. Then you had the entire artillery coming from the center, the way they planned that, and then you had Prime Minister Modi, who was their biggest trump card. They were hungry. They wanted to win at any cost. You didn't see that hunger. You left it to Kamal Nath. He did what he did in terms of, repeating the MLAs and others. So now if you take a look at the question that you're asking, I don't think it's a single leader. Congress should, of course, this defeat is, they should have won at least and been even Stevens. But having lost that, let's take a look at what the positives are for them. They have Karnataka, they have Telangana now, and of course, you've said they've got Himachal and that half a state that you mentioned in terms of Jharkhand. South, for instance, there are 130-odd seats.
135.
135 seats. The BJP has very little traction, though Mr. Modi could win last time. You saw 4 seats going in Telangana, and in Karnataka, 17 seats. Can they now mount that whole thing there to ensure that the 135 seats are this thing? Then you have the India Alliance that is sitting there. That is the East. So if you look at the Odisha, and as you look at West Bengal, and you look at Bihar, you're looking at another 113-odd seats that's there. So mounted together, these are 250 seats that are waiting to be taken. And if you take Maharashtra, your own state, or I don't know whether
one of my states,
one of your states, you have a challenge. It is how you go about now. You can start recovering. You can work on it. It doesn't mean a defeat, and you have this huge. I mean, there's no doubt Prime Minister Modi is invincible at the moment. But as we have seen, they were invincible in Karnataka. They were invincible in some senses in Telangana.
But maybe they're going to have to conserve their resources. You see, you can't fight, the Congress can't fight 400 seats anymore. I think
Correct.
What's going to happen at the India Alliance meeting, which is scheduled for the 6th, is some of these allies, those who will attend, will say, look, will you please focus on first taking on the BJP where you're strong, or in states like Telangana and Karnataka where you have governments now. Please don't spread yourself too thin and enter our areas like you want to. You're going to have to really decide.
What does this mean for the India Alliance? Let's spend a moment, Rajdeep, on that. Do you see the India Alliance come together stronger because the Congress is chastened, or do you think it will wither because now the others will think inse karke kya hoga, fayda nahi, khud hi ladte hain?
Look, Rahul, I have a view that the India Alliance cannot be just about arithmetic, it has to be about chemistry. I just don't see the chemistry so far. Look at the states where they fought the election. The battle between Kamal Nath and Akhilesh. Akhilesh Vakilesh kaun hai? You see, the moment you've done that, you've got the back of Akhilesh Yadav. Even after your India Alliance has been formed, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary hasn't stopped attacking Mamata Banerjee in Bengal. there are still tremors in Punjab between AAP and the Congress there at the local level. You're going to have to resolve that. You can't just sit in five-star hotels and Constitution Club, all of you sipping cups of tea and believing India alliance ban gaya. You know, that is the problem with this India alliance. It is an alliance which therefore then comes across as only there for very short-termism, not with any larger goal or narrative. What's your narrative?
Rashid Kidwai, what are your sources in the Congress saying about the prospects of the India alliance coming together? A lot of the opposition leaders who messaged or called were actually quite upset at the fact that the Congress unilaterally announced that we'll meet on the 6th of December without checking with all the party leaders whether they wanted to meet. They think that the Congress has been very arrogant and haughty and really has been brought down to earth by the results yesterday.
Rahul, India's story is not a Congress story. This is a doctrine of compulsion. Remember, all these 28 constituents have a problem with, rise of Narendra Modi. So it's not that, that they'll be very happy to fight their elections alone. So it's a doctrine of compulsion that's bringing them together. What we are seeing today, yesterday, today, tomorrow, it's all, posturing. End of the day, they're going to sit and they're going to have, a kind of assessment of seat-wise, nationwide, seat-sharing formula, which is being prepared by several, data scientists, cephalogists, etc. And going to be a constructive discussion. There are a lot of people like Farooq Abdullah, Sharad Pawar, Nitish Kumar, and all who have a, healthy mind towards it. So all these things are going there. But you look at this, it's a very chaotic kind of, grouping, and there is always a possibility of a Kejriwal, Mamata Banerjee, even Akhilesh Yadav leaving at one juncture or another. So it is fraught with all kind of dangers. It is a very chaotic thing. But I think again the doctrine of necessity will push them into having a kind of feasible one-on-one seat adjustment.
The doctrine of necessity worked, I believe, 20-25 years ago, possibly. The sense I get, and the Prime Minister has been very quick to pick on it. You look at Mr. Modi's statements in the last 24 hours, it's about how I'm going to, it's stability versus uncertainty. He calls it the Ghamandiya alliance, but either way, it's stability versus uncertainty. And I wonder, therefore, Rajat Sethi, what the last 24 hours have done, as we saw today morning in Parliament, made the BJP even more confident about the hat-trick in 2024. I'm not saying complacent, but almost believing there's an inevitability.
Rajdeep
Ki ab to ho hi gaya 2024.
Yes,
Hat-trick ho hi gaya.
The results of yesterday has led the cat among the pigeons. You were talking about Maharashtra. Lot of factions of Uddhav Thackeray, a lot of leftover factions of even Sharad Pawar are now saying that the other side did a better job of aligning with the BJP. At least those seats are secured. Even a state like Maharashtra, which had like 6 different political parties, contesting with each other for a little bit of political space, you will see all of that equation suddenly changes after what happened yesterday. So I think state after state will see that tremors of what happened yesterday would iron out a lot of wrinkles that NDA was facing. We have seen how BJP would want to project its NDA's might, not just in North India, but elsewhere as well. They used Eknath Shinde even in campaigns, by the way. Look at the India Alliance. They did not use any of their partners. Congress didn't use any of those partners to come out and hold hand together and give a message of unity. Nobody did that. So I think the contrast is stark. What Kidwaiji was saying, I have one doubt that, if you go with a negative agenda, stopping Modi is inherently a negative agenda. None of the people, the thinking minds in the India Alliance, have that level of positivity to inspire young voters that I have a positive agenda and I want to go with that positive agenda. Look at Modi. He's talking about 2047. Which other leader even has the political lexicon or even the articulation to talk about future? Guarantees are not equal to aspiration. You cannot buy our votes just by throwing guarantees at us. Cylinder le lo, 1,000 rupees le lo, 2,000 rupees le lo. This is not aspirational India. Prime Minister Modi knows he will give those things, but he will not tom-tom about it. He'll go out and speak about 2047.
Rajat,
He'll talk about the big picture
for the
India.
BJP. Give our viewers a sense, from what you understand of how the BJP thinks, of how the approach to the Lok Sabha elections is likely to change given the verdict yesterday. BJP internally was expecting 2 to 3-0, is a pleasant and happy surprise for them. Multiple big events, showcases were lined up till April next year. You've got the Ram Mandir happening, lots of other schemes also the government's been working on. How does tomorrow's verdict change the party's preparation for the finals next year?
I think internally what Prime Minister Modi has set as a target for BJP's rank and file is 45% vote share for the BJP, 5% additional for the NDA partners. So we have to breach 50%. That's the message that is loud and clear. Greater than 50% vote share and greater than 350 seats. He is going for the kill. He will not leave any stone unturned. And I'm telling you, seats like typical seats like Baramati, he'll start picking up specific seats and he'll round up all these, India Alliance top leadership so that they are involved in their own home constituency. They'll not be able to even leave out those constituencies. Similarly, in Telangana, I'm telling you, the momentum of these victories is not just going to stop in North India alone. It is going to breach. It is going to reach to Telangana. You will see, even with strategic alliances in states like Andhra Pradesh, he will be able to breach. Look at he's already signaled
because he just mentioned Baramati. To give you an example, Ajit Pawar has already been gone on record to say we will be fighting the Baramati Lok Sabha seat. What does that mean? Supriya Sule, daughter of Sharad Pawar, who is seen as one of the stalwarts of this India alliance, may well in his own bastion, where they've never lost, be facing, Supriya Sule may well be facing someone from the Ajit Pawar camp. That restricts Supriya Sule, that restricts Sharad Pawar. Already in the Gram Panchayat election that took place there last month, it was the NCP faction of Ajit Pawar that bested the Sharad Pawar faction. So there are 160 odd seats in this country that the BJP was second or third last time. They have put ministers and MPs in charge of those seats. That's the level of micro detailing. And not just today. It's been happening for the last 1 year. I was on a flight with a minister sitting next to me. I said, what makes you travel to Kolhapur? They said, I have been put in charge of Kolhapur. Now, that's the level of micromanagement. You've got the resources, but you've also got that vision and that, the go for the kill attitude at the moment.
Amitabh, you've run campaigns. Give our viewers a sense of how yesterday's verdict might impact both sides in the build-up to 2024, looked at analytically from a statistic and data perspective.
See, if you see, these three states have 65 Lok Sabha seats. And these are direct one-to-one BJP versus Congress seats. Now, this gives confidence to the BJP that in the overall 190 BJP versus Congress seats, where the BJP won 175 last time, they are likely to repeat this. This gives confidence to the cadre and demoralizes the cadre and leadership of the Congress party that they are not equipped to defeat BJP in the Hindli heartland states, despite having anti-incumbency in one state and a pro-incumbency in another state. That's one. Second, it gives an indication to the India bloc allies that the Congress party will not be able to defeat the BJP in one-to-one contest. And Rashid ji was talking about compulsion and necessity. I see, if this trend continues, there could be some parties who could split or even move towards the NDA.
Like which ones? Which ones possibly?
Non-aligned, definitely. Naveen Patnaik, TRS, YSRCP.
Could join.
Could join.
No, but the argument on the counter with that is that BJP would hope to do better in a state like Odisha, in a state like Andhra. You want to have this soft footsie kind of alliance, right? You don't want to bring it out into the open.
See, Modi is a man of records. Rajat is talking about a 5% swing. Now the mission is 400 plus. Mission 415 to break Rajiv Gandhi's record of 414 seats. They're already at 303 with allies there at 335-ish, correct? All these non-aligned parties, YSRCP, BJD, TRS, these are another 50 odd. Plus, they were second, as Rajiv ji is saying, in 72 seats.
Second or third in 160.
Yeah, and 144. There is already a mission 144 which you're talking about, on which the BJP has never won. So there could be some switch, and a 5% swing in favor of the BJP will increase the tally from 303 to 353 sort of.
So they're talking a lot about Abki Baar 400 par. Rajdeep, do you think that's possible? Or are you getting worried listening to this thing?
No, look, for the longest time, I believe that, and I've said this, even in our videos on London Top, I believe that defeating Mr. Modi and the BJP in 2024 नामुमकिन तो कुछ नहीं है, बहुत मुश्किल है. And this is before yesterday. This is not, yesterday to my mind is a bit. Yesterday, exactly. No, I believe we are exaggerating the importance of yesterday. You see, yesterday was 65 seats, out of which 62 the BJP has already won. Yesterday is more about momentum, morale. Yesterday is not about these 140 odd constituencies where the BJP has never won. It's not about the constituencies where I finished second and I'm giving you the example of Baramati. That's been going on for a year. You see, we look at events. The BJP at the moment is looking at a process, a journey. And that journey, yes, could take them possibly on their own to certainly 300 plus. Whether it will go to 350 will depend on the state of the opposition.
Sanjay, the Prime Minister and the BJP top brass keep saying, "Ab ki baar 400 par." That's what they have their sights on. Is that just like a catchy slogan to motivate their own troops, or are they seriously planning of ways of reaching that 400 number?
I've seen BJP leaders working at two levels. A, for public discourse, ab ki baar 400 par. But when they actually sit with their workers, their leaders and other Panna Pramukh and booth workers or whosoever, they actually then suddenly put themselves in a difficult situation, put them in a very difficult situation, that this is a very close fight, this is a very tight fight, you have to work hard, you have to work harder. No matter, we have reached here, but we have to reach there. If you look at what Mr. Modi's yesterday's performance, what he said, obviously charging his cadre and workers, and in the backdrop what comes? हम सपने नहीं हकीकत बुनते हैं, लोग इसीलिए मोदी को बार-बार चुनते हैं, मोदी की गारंटी. And Telangana was also mentioned there. It was not Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. That was very significant.
No,
on the contrary,
it was.
Just on the reverse, after Congress won Telangana, obviously it was a moment of triumph and pride and achievement for them. But the leaders started saying this is a big, big moment. Of course, that was a big moment that we decimated a regional party. Yes. Now here is India Alliance, where you are actually collaborating and trying to add more and more of regional allies. And when you send out this message, by evening you got rebuttal from JDU, from RJD, from Trinamool Congress and from others. So that you have to kind of, the two different sets of thinking.
I take your point. Very interestingly, and a member of parliament who's watching our program is saying, you're looking like, you should be also looking at the possibility of Mr. Modi going for the kill by moving in for an early election. Now, I don't know what an early election really means. That you're in Mr. Modi never gives up a single week, I believe.
I had an opportunity very recently to ask one of the top BJP leaders about the prospects of early election. They said, जितने दिन जनता ने तपस्या करने का मौका दिया है, उस दिन तक तपस्या करेंगे, फिर जाएंगे. I don't think philosophically.
Yeah, so I agree with that. I'm just saying because a member of parliament is throwing up the possibility that you go for the kill.
Is this member of parliament in the opposition?
No, he's saying we are in disarray. These are the words.
That's the problem with the opposition. They don't know how the Modi and Shah do things.
2004 election, BJP lost. One of the big reasons was because they preponed
the election.
And also India signing and so on and so forth. Again, Modi and BJP's current team is like 500 or 1,000 meters race, whereby they pick up more momentum. They run even faster in last 50 or 100 yards.
Raj Chengappa, are we therefore saying that 2024 is a done deal? Should we virtually say there's an inevitability over the outcome? Or do you believe that the Indian voter can still surprise? A state election in particular is not a general election.
You know, you were mentioning Mr. Modi's speech yesterday after the so-called victory speech. Very interestingly, I mean, if you look at from Mr. Modi's point of view, he would like to be known as a statesman in his third term, get that status. Second, ideologically, right? If there was 2 or 3 people with ideological impact on India, Prime Minister Nehru, to some extent Prime Minister Vajpayee, he would like to be someone who ideologically impacts. And you could see that in his speech yesterday, which was he talked of Viksit Bharat, looked ahead, right? He did not touch Hindutva. If you notice, barring a mention of appeasement, which was, the 3 things that he accused the opposition of, he focused on breaking the caste thing and said, look, my own entire focus on youth, women, farmers, the poor. And he spelled out a vision for India. That was very interesting, that he was almost like a statesman when he was there. If you analyze the speech very carefully, it was prepared. This was the 2024 run-up campaign that was there.
But the rhetoric can be that of
Let me just finish in that sense. I mean, you're asking that question of it. There is no doubt he's in pole position, and, with these 3 wins, he said this win will echo across the world, it will echo across the country. You talked of chemistry. I think he has a narrative. What the opposition doesn't have is, apart from unity and all these things, is a narrative. They have opportunities, like I mentioned earlier. The South, the East is not there with the BJP. And let us also look at the economy, which at the ultimate point right now, it looks great. The stock markets are booming. But as we've seen, if people are rushing for freebies, there's a K-shaped growth likely to be there. Those freebies, I mean, if all of them you're giving, even including the BJP is forced to give it, there's something that they have to do for that segment of people if they have to keep the vote. So 6 months is still a long time.
Prime Minister Modi, Rajdeep, can have the rhetoric of a statesman, he can have the tactics of a street fighter, and he can go high and low in the same persona,
Absolutely.
Which is where, people can be very idealistic. So he can be idealistic when he wants to be, and then he can make the tactical adjustments, compromises, swallow ego, pedal back when required. That makes him a formidable combination, because he's not getting stuck on his ego. Kya maine decide kar liya.
He says,
farmer agitation,
land acquisition.
Yeah, sure. You use Mr. Modi in the context, again, to give a cricketing analogy. AB de Villiers is seen as Mr. 360. What does that mean? I can play all shots, all across the wicket. I will see the pitch and play accordingly. When I need to defend, I'll defend. When I need to be a statesman, I'll be a statesman. When I need to be a demagogue, I'll be a demagogue. When I need to take on corruption, I'll take on corruption. When I need to talk about economy, I will. You see, I leave no space for the opposition. And that, to my mind, we keep saying opposition needs a narrative. You see, it's not so easy, when I think about it from the opposition perspective, not so easy unless you can actually consistently project a clear messaging, which at the moment it doesn't.
On a flip side, some of
they have seized the narrative, they are directing the narrative.
Well,
some
we'll leave it there.
Some of the analogies that we've drawn from cricket over the past 48 hours have been from, you mentioned South Africa or Australia, in the manner the Australian team beat the Indian team in the World Cup final. So one very senior BCCI official, who I shan't name, called yesterday. He was listening in. And he said, यार ये बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है. अगर मैं वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल निकाल देता ना, सब इंडियन टीम की बात करें. The Modi team is playing like the Indian team. That's what they wanted. That would have been the epic finale at the Modi Stadium. That's what they were hoping for. And all these analogies that we are drawing about, BJP is playing like Australia, I was cheesing them off quite a bit.
But look what he did there. India lost. He went to the dressing room. So he tried to change, that I'm there with you in victory and defeat. He is, as I keep saying, and we discussed this in the morning, a politician who's been around, some forget, for almost 50 years now in public life. And when you've done that, well, you've gone through various experiences. The final verdict of the winter elections of 2023 has come from Mizoram, where the Zoram People's Movement swept the Mizoram polls earlier today. Counting took place today. The party, led by Lalduoma, a former IPS officer, registered a landslide victory, winning 27 seats out of 40, way above the majority mark. It's history because until now, Mizoram has seen the MNF, Mizo National Front, and the Congress rotating power. The incumbent Chief Minister and MNF leader, Zoram Thanga, also lost from Aizawl seat, and his party could win only 10 seats. The Congress won a single seat, and the BJP won 2. Mizoram's next chief minister, as I said, is a former police officer who was in Indira Gandhi's security team and was also the first MP to be disqualified way back in 1985 under the anti-defection law. Then he was in the Congress. Okay, let's go straight to Mr. Lalduoma, the IPS officer, our newsmaker of the moment, joining us. Thank you so much, Mr. Lalduoma, for joining us. You've been in politics for a very long time, became an MP way back in 1984. Now, all these years later, almost 40 years later, did you ever think this day would come when you'd become Chief Minister? Congratulations.
Yes. My life is full of struggles. My life is full of struggles, and I've been in politics for 39 years. And people know me, and I know them. And ultimately now, thank God, with the blessing of God and the blessing of the people, we'll
political observers outside Mizoram, Mr. Lalduoma, your party is seen as an Aam Aadmi party like a phenomena, Coming from nowhere, a motley group of civil society activists coming together. Going up, you were not even a proper political party in the last elections. You've risen from there. What, according to you, explains this spectacular victory?
Mainly because they want to change and they want to have a better government, a more efficient, corruption-free government. And particularly the farmers, they have high hope on us, and we are going to fulfill their hopes and expectations and aspirations. We are not going to let them down.
Mr. Lalduama, most regional parties in the Northeast tie up with whoever is in power in Delhi. Is there a possibility you'll also join hands with the BJP, become part of NEDA, the Northeast Democratic Alliance?
No, not at all. We are not going to tie up with any political forum at the national level. We are a genuine regional party, but with a national outlook. We don't want to be decided, they dictated from Delhi. We want to take final decision in our own hands here. At the same time, we would like to have a good relationship with the central government, whoever is ruling down there.
You know, you spent a lot of time in the Congress before deciding to set up this local regional front. You were considered close to Indira Gandhi. What, according to you, explains the decline in the current status of the Congress in all the northeastern states?
That is not only in the context of Mizoram, in the whole country is declining, and slowly they are climbing up now. But things are not, in favor of Congress as far as the context of Mizoram is concerned.
Now, you made, Mr. Lalduama, the fight against corruption, drugs, as you said, part of your agenda. One of your key reasons why you won was your anti-corruption agenda. But do you really think it's possible to end corruption in public life? You've been a former police officer, decorated police officer, who took on even the drugs mafia in Goa in the 1970s.
To put an end totally to the corruption may not be possible, but we are going to reduce and we are going to control.
You know, a lot of political pundits, when they're trying to explain the ZPM phenomena, are referring to the Zoram People's Movement as a Aam Aadmi Party-like formation in the Northeast and in Mizoram, coming from nowhere, forming this party, coming to power. It's almost like Afghanistan beating Australia in terms of how significant this victory is. How do you respond to all these comparisons with Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party?
Maybe because, I have a personal relationship with the Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi, and we have been together in public making speeches, and the principles and policies of Aam Aadmi Party and ZPM is almost the same. Maybe because of that. Otherwise, we don't have any further connection in between us.
Well, Mr. Lalduama, we wish you very well. We hope that you will go, you will offer Mizoram a new vision. As you said, you've had a remarkable career in public life, played various roles. All one can say is good luck to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Best of luck. Let's hope some of the idealism that brought...
We have committed to buy their products from selected 4 items, and we'll start that.
Okay, he's quite a remarkable figure because he was sent by Indira Gandhi to London to meet Lal Denga, and then the Mizo Accord happened. He was also Chief Security Officer, or one of the main security officers, Asian Games 82, took on the drug mafia in the 1970s, and has been in public life for the last 40 years.
Can he keep the idealism alive?
That's the big question.
Come from the street, burning with idealism is one thing. Can he keep that flame alive? That is what he'll be judged against.
But, there are one point of trivia. Since we've ended these long 2 days, he is, Rahul, the ninth Chief Minister of an Indian state who's been a former congressman. 9 out of 29 states.
It's actually very interesting that the number of Chief Minister Congress persons are ex-congressmen.
Yeah, as a congressman, you have a better chance of being Chief Minister
We're giving the entire list. Look at these names. So you've got 2 days where we've seen the decline of the Congress, especially in the Hindi heartland. And at the same time, you're seeing the rise of yet another congressman who's joined hands and become...
Gana batao khatam karne se pehle.
Yaar, Ghana, I really don't think You know, do you have a Ghana for someone who's tired? We've had 2 long days. I'm 58, Rahul, you're 21. And that's a huge age difference. So, you know, Rahul is, I'd love to say, abhi to main jawan hu, but, you know, 2 days of relentless election coverage can take a toll on you. So I'm going to head to my son's face center in a day or two and get myself nicely spruced up for the next big election, whenever that is. Or for all the Christmas. I want to now, Christmas must come early.
Okay. Rajdeep announced he's going on a holiday. Rahul Gandhi is also going on a break to the north.
No, hold on.
The BJP meanwhile is working. Yeah. Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah, they're charting their course. And then when we meet again sometime in the middle of May, we'll wonder why did one party end up a certain way and the other end up the other.
Rahul Kamal, unlike, Rahul Gandhi leads a political party. There his job is to be on the job 365 days. I am a news anchor. My contract says I get 28 days of leave. I am a bandua mazdoor rest of the year, but I deserve my 28 days of leave. And I don't go, and my days of leave are usually spent in Mumbai or Goa by the sea. So that's it.
Nice.
That's good enough.
No, absolutely.
Okay, we've had a great time. All credit to, once again, to the team which has put together our coverage over the last couple of days. We thank you again for your trust in giving us the kind of viewership numbers that we've got. So
you're saying all of this like this coverage is done. It's not. I mean, the Chief Minister still have to be decided on all these states. There's lots of excitement still. There are many people watching wondering what happens next, who will be Chief Minister, what will happen between now and May. So we'll track all of that non-stop. This is non-stop, Rajdeep. No Christmas holidays. This is like non-stop. You're going to be at it.
Difference between being 21 and being 58. Okay, let's leave you there. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay well, stay safe. Good night. Shubhratri. Jai Hind. Namaskar.
Good night.